Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Jennifer Scripps, Downtown Dallas Inc., President and CEO.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Downtown Dallas Inc. 2025 Annual Meeting, presented by Amplify Dallas Architects. I am Jennifer Scripps, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as DDI's President and CEO. And on behalf of the nearly 100 people on our DDI team who work every day to keep downtown clean, safe, and vibrant, we are so pleased that you have joined us here today at the Omni Dallas Hotel. We have an unforgettable program for you today. Today, we are recognizing our board leadership, and we will officially appoint our 2025 Board of Governors. This is also the third year we will be presenting our Groundbreaker Award, recognizing a lifetime of achievements advancing downtown Dallas. And I'm thrilled that our honorees, Craig and Ambassador Kathryn Hall, are here with us today. Finally, after lunch, I will be moderating our panel conversation entitled Revitalizing Downtown, a Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center Update with Craig Davis, Rosa Fleming, and Ron Stelmarski. I am honored and pleased that the Honorable Kay Bailey Hutchison is here with us today, and I hope you, most importantly, are pleased with the progress of your namesake project. Now, I would like to take a minute to welcome our elected officials here with us. If you would please stand to be recognized. I saw some of them here. Good. Thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for all that you do on behalf of DDI and downtown. Also, to help raise awareness and support for the DDI Foundation, our 501c3 nonprofit arm, we have our first ever raffle today. Enter for a chance to win an amazing week at the Robeson Home in Vail. It really is a special place. You can scan the QR code on your program to purchase tickets up till 12:30, and the winner will be announced at the end of today's program. Only 200 tickets are being sold. And I also want to recognize former Dallas Mayor Tom Leppert, who has joined us. It is wonderful to see you. You and all of the former mayors in Dallas each played a critical role in shaping downtown Dallas, for which we are grateful, and we work to build on your legacy. And finally, events like this just don't happen. We could not do it without the support of our generous sponsors, which make today possible. First up, our presenting sponsor, Amplify Dallas Architects. Our panelist luncheon sponsor, the Hutchison Companies, the Jewel. Our pinnacle sponsor, Billingsley Company, Hall Group, and Encore. Our media sponsor, Dallas News Corporation. Our urban legend sponsors, Alstom, Atmos Energy, Corrigan, Dallas Regional Chamber, DCEO, HKS, the men and women of Hunt Consolidated, Merriman Anderson Architects, Omni Dallas Hotel, and Westdale Real Estate Investment and Management. Our audio-visual sponsor, DHD Films, and our urban champion sponsors that you can see on the screen. And to our dessert, parking, name badge, registration, and photo op sponsors that you can see on the screen now. I'm so grateful to the support of all of these sponsors for DDI, and not just for today, but for every day. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Tom Reisenbichler and Michael Lockwood, representing our presenting sponsor, Amplify Dallas Architects.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, and good morning, everyone. I'm Tom Reisenbichler with Perkins&Will, a global architecture firm known for innovative, sustainable, and community-driven spaces.
Good afternoon. I'm Michael Lockwood with Populous, a firm specializing in world-class convention centers, stadiums, and entertainment venues that bring people together. We're honored and excited to be with you today to introduce Amplify Dallas, the architecture and engineering team behind the new Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. The members of this team have delivered major projects around the world, as well as many, many projects here in Dallas.
And that's what we're excited about. Amplify Dallas together. We have the expertise to create an iconic convention center and the deep local understanding to design a space that reflects the spirit of Dallas. Bold, forward-thinking, and built for the future. This project is a transformative investment in the heart of the city. It's more than a convention center, it's a catalyst for continued evolution of downtown Dallas. It's a place that strengthens our economy, attracts visitors from around the world, and creates new opportunities for local businesses and restaurants and cultural institutions. This is about keeping Dallas on the map as a premier destination while enhancing the daily experience for those who live and work in downtown.
We're excited to share a glimpse of our vision for the project. This short video highlights our goals and the impact this new convention center will have on the city. Let's take a look.
In the heart of Dallas, a transformation is underway, one that will amplify our city's presence on the world's stage. The ambitious redesign of the Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center Dallas, led by Amplify Dallas Architects, is a commitment to our community, to you. A bold vision of a more connected city. A launching pad for new economic opportunities. For tens of thousands of people for decades to come. A great city isn't built, it's woven. Street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood. Every connection redefines what's possible. More than a convention center, we are designing an adrenaline boost to our urban core. A one-of-a-kind destination district representing the culture and vitality of Dallas, with a new iconic events venue at its center. Amplify Dallas team members are global leaders in convention center design and proven experts in sustainable strategies. Most importantly, we are Dallas residents. We're from this city, we love this city, and together we are making the Dallas heartbeat stronger. Amplify Dallas, bridging communities and welcoming the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Katy Murray, Downtown Dallas Inc. Board Chair.
Thank you, Michael and Tom, and good afternoon. Thank you all for being here this afternoon, and I hope that each of you are having a great start to 2025. I am honored to begin my third year as Board Chair of Downtown Dallas Inc., representing Dallas News Corporation. As the media sponsor for today's event, we take great pride in our ongoing role and commitment to supporting and enhancing downtown Dallas. Last year marked a pivotal moment for DDI as we strengthened our financial and resource commitment to maintaining a clean and safe downtown, while also dedicating similar efforts to caring for and activating our downtown parks and fostering economic vibrancy through new retail and economic developments. We are especially proud today to be taking part in honoring our Groundbreaker recipients, Craig and Ambassador Kathryn Hall. We will celebrate Craig and Kathryn in just a few minutes. Many of you have heard me say before that it is impossible to walk through downtown without seeing the hardworking members of the DDI security team, the clean team, the homeless outreach team, and our downtown Dallas ambassadors. They are the individuals dedicated to keeping downtown Dallas looking and feeling vibrant every single day of the week, rain or shine, sleet or snow. Our field teams unlock the potential of our public spaces and bring the heart and the soul of this city to life. Let's hear it for those dedicated individuals who do such an amazing work as the stewards of downtown Dallas. In just a minute, DDI President and CEO and my friend, Jennifer Scripps, will share more about the incredible accomplishments of DDI over this past year and what's exciting and what's to come this year. But first, I have some important business. On behalf of my fellow 2025 board officers, Vice Chair Ted Hamilton, Hamilton Properties Corporation, Secretary Larry Daniels of HRI Hospitality, and Treasurer Amy Lewis Hofflin, Crow Museum of Asian Art, it is my honor as the chair of the DDI board to lead our official vote on the 2025 DDI Board of Governors slate. The names of my fellow board members are scrolling on the screens behind me. The DDI Board of Governors is comprised of executives with some of the most notable downtown businesses and organizations of all industries and sizes. We thank our governors for their dedication and their vision. Do I have a motion for approval? I know Susan Harris is here somewhere because they told me you were doing it. So thank you, Susan, for the motion of approval. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations to our 2025 DDI Board of Governors. I would also like to take a moment to recognize our DDI Emeritus Board. These individuals have devoted so many years of service, not only to DDI, but to downtown Dallas. We are so thankful for their support and our ability to continue to work with them on making downtown Dallas the best it can be. Now, it is my honor to invite DDI President and CEO Jennifer Scripps back to the stage.
Thank you so much, Katie, and thank you for your leadership, and my big congratulations to all of the newest members of our board. Thank you so much for your service. I speak for the DDI team when I say how much we enjoy working with all of you and look forward to the good things that we'll do together in 2025. I want to start with my thanks to our DDI members and to the dedicated staff at Downtown Dallas Inc., including the members that Katie just mentioned of our security team, our clean team, our homeless outreach, and our ambassadors teams. They do such important work 7 days a week, 365 days a year, keeping downtown clean, safe, and welcoming for all people. We hope that you'll take a few moments and review our 2024 annual report summary at your seat. Let's please have one more round of applause for our DDI team. Downtown Dallas Inc. has been the leading advocate for downtown for 67 years. Things have changed in that time. And since 1992, we have also managed our Downtown Dallas Improvement District. And through this public improvement district partnership with the city and the community, we provide these enhanced services that make downtown cleaner, safer, and more hospitable for everyone. Our public improvement district is funded through an annual assessment paid by downtown property owners, a supermajority of whom petition in support of the PID's continued existence every 7 years. And we appreciate that trust and that investment. During my time as CEO since 2022, we have put a special emphasis on data-driven strategies to improve the services that we provide. Just a few examples. We identify and map our hotspots, much like the Dallas Police Department, to ensure that we are always allocating our resources and our security and clean team members to the right areas of downtown at the right times. We track our response times to ensure that DDI is responding within minutes to all of the requests for service through our CSAY app. Try it sometime, you'll be impressed. Please feel free to download the app using the QR code located at your table. And every day, we at DDI hire off-duty Dallas police and strategically deploy them to our public spaces, including the parks, for enhanced safety and to ensure enhanced responsiveness. The results of our work are evident every day. Consider these statistics from 2024. Last year, Our clean team members picked up nearly 1 million gallons of trash, and they power washed more than 4 million square feet of sidewalks. It's impressive. Our security team members addressed over 43,000 quality of life violations, issues like sleeping in public or panhandling or trespassing that clearly detract from our quality of life. And they responded to over 6,200 CSAY app alerts. That's from the app that you can download. Our homeless outreach workers partner with City Hall and nonprofit Housing Forward on the Street to Home initiative. It began in August, and since that time, they have rehoused over 130 people who had been sleeping regularly in downtown. We started in the area around City Hall and expanded to some of the key parks, and it's still growing. It's been tremendous getting those individuals rehoused. Our park programming in all of the amazing parks in downtown reached new heights this past year, with a record-breaking 204 events, a 52% increase since 2023, and we drew over 136,000 attendees to our DDI events. We do this work for the people who live and work in downtown, including the ones who took a chance on our urban core before it was a proven investment. But we also do it for the promise of tomorrow, because great things are coming in downtown Dallas. DDI fought really hard with many of the partners in this room for the passage of a $1.25 billion bond program. This will ensure that we reinvest tens of millions of dollars in critical infrastructure improvements in downtown Dallas. This is why we are working closely with our partners at Visit Dallas and the Dallas Sports Commission and many others in preparing to host FIFA World Cup, coming soon in 2026. While all 9 regional matches will be hosted by a certain neighbor to the west, downtown Dallas will be hosting the International Broadcast Center, meaning that we'll be the home base for 2,000 broadcasters from literally across the world. This will be a 24-hour operation based out of the Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. Related World Cup events in downtown will draw millions of visitors to our city and create billions of dollars in economic impact. I personally cannot wait. These visitors and our residents expect the best in downtown, in retail, restaurants, and entertainment when they come to visit. And while we've come a long way over the years, we still have room to grow, which is why DDI has been working closely with the Retail Coach. These are consultants who are helping us build a comprehensive recruitment strategy to bring national retail brands to downtown. There is so much promise for what the future will bring. And in just a few minutes, we'll delve into one of the biggest projects in the history of our entire city, the Convention Center redevelopment. But none of this promise, none of it, can be realized if we do not maintain a downtown where people feel safe. And our sense of security has been shaken over the past year with an uptick in criminal behavior. As a community, and in close partnership with DPD and many other law enforcement agencies, we are united in our efforts to build a sustainable public safety model for downtown Dallas. And in partnership with these downtown stakeholders, and importantly with the tremendous assistance and a pro bono case team from BCG, we have developed a comprehensive plan. Among key tenets of this plan, we are working to increase security presence, both Dallas Police, DDI Security, and our corporate partners in downtown. We are working on the creation of a downtown central command to better coordinate the efforts of all of these groups and to maximize the impact of Dallas Police, DDI, and other law enforcement agencies that operate in downtown. We must continue the Street to Home program to rehouse and reduce homelessness in our public spaces. This work is ongoing, and we can continue to develop new ways to assist the service-resistant individuals across downtown, go beyond our current activities. We will need to better connect people needing those services via an enhanced community court, which we're getting great buy-in on, and reentry programs and services. These are just a few of the key tenets of this important plan that we are working on, and we will start implementing them in the coming months. Several of these initiatives are already underway. I can't thank the partners who have been at the table doing this work for many months, and another thanks to BCG to make this public safety plan come to fruition. I also want to thank our new Dallas City Manager, Kimberly Beiser-Tolbert, for leaning in on these efforts since day one of her interim term. Kim and her team have demonstrated a deep understanding and commitment to the need of a thriving urban core. We are thrilled to have you here with us today, and we look forward to our close collaborative partnership with you and your team. I'm going to cheer for her. And now it is my honor to welcome to the stage Lucy Billingsley to introduce our Groundbreaker video.
What a treat it is for me to join the others that will be in the video in celebrating this momentous recognition from DDI for the 2025 Groundbreaker Award to Kathryn and Craig Hall. They're quite the couple. They're a team, in fact. They have helped transform industries, champion innovation, and enhanced communities. They created the Hall Group. Now, Craig, at age 18, bought a boarding house and started to turn that into a huge national multifamily platform. He is just an entrepreneur in his very essence. He then went on to take that platform and move into investing in football teams, airlines, software, biotech, who knows what else. Now today, Craig is leading 3 major businesses: Hall Real Estate Group, a very good business to be in, Hall Financial, and then together with Kathy in the winery. Hall Wine, Walt Wines, and Baca Wines. As an entrepreneur so pure, Craig cannot help himself but to spread entrepreneurship around the world. So he engages in supporting young entrepreneurs in institutions and policies nationally and globally. Craig is also an author. He's a New York Times best-selling author, and together with Kathy has penned the book Perfect Score, of which they have 2 in the vineyard. So together with Kathy also, they engage in the arts. As so many of us know, we've benefited from their great contributions to our local institutions, but beyond that, they've got beautiful artwork on Ross Avenue and in the KPMG building, and Hall Arts Hotel is filled with spectacular art enhancing our lives. Craig's been recognized happily by the Horatio Alger Association, downtown in the Dallas Business Hall of Fame, and many other recognitions, all so appropriate. Now, Kathy is first an attorney, then a businesswoman, a diplomat, and also a co-author. She was invited by President Clinton to become the ambassador for the United States to Austria. In that work, she engaged in ramping up and enhancing our agriculture and international trade. But Kathy's always been, in every aspect of her life, someone who's fighting for democracy. She's done so nationally, but she's also done so and is still doing so in major institutions across the world to enhance democracy on our globe. After being in Austria, Kathy came back home to the vineyard and really turned this nascent winery into a major powerhouse in America. And not only are their brands great, if you don't know it, shame on you, but also they've helped change the industry and had really great innovations come into the wine industry. It's important to note that Kathy was one of the co-founders of the North Texas Food Bank. Now, that food bank last year served over 144 million meals, and that's just one of their amazing statistics. Yeah, huge. FDR once said, in times of chaos and change, a city needs people who are willing to win, desire to serve, and are dedicated to delivering results. They have the ability to be leaders. Those two people are Kathy and Craig Hall. So it's my pleasure to just be a part of today and to introduce this new video honoring 2025 Groundbreaker Award recipients, Kathryn and Craig Hall. Thank you.
Kathy and Craig have had a remarkable effect on Dallas in different ways individually. Kathy is definitely the class of the couple, but Craig's the tiger. He gets out there and makes things happen. They think big.
They've written books, they've been in diverse businesses, they have a great breadth of thought, and they have huge hearts. So when they come to thinking about something like downtown Dallas, they're thinking about the heart of the city and all the people around the city.
Craig and Kathy were early adopters, really, of Clybourne Park. They truly saw the vision for it and what it could do for the landscape of Dallas. I don't know that Clybourne Park would be in existence without the support of Craig and Kathy Hall and many others like them.
I think Craig's biggest impact has been in the Arts District to build a hotel there and build a 500,000 square foot office building. Also build a condo there where he lives. And then he's had a big impact on building Hall Office Park.
He and Kathryn are the definitive live, work, play in a neighborhood and care very deeply about entrepreneurship and art. Two things that were much needed in a neighborhood in the northeast corner of downtown Dallas. One of the reasons the Arts District even existed was to create night and weekend activity. And Craig Hall understood that.
Kathy was one of the founders of the North Texas Food Bank. They've served over 100 million meals. They're obviously giving people security and safety, an unbelievable gift to have given. And so she helped start it and has stayed with it ever since. Thank you, Kathy.
It's fun to be able to call them friends, but there's some of these incredible people who put this city on their backs and make it what it is. And they and their like-minded cohorts have completely changed the physical landscape of Dallas and, frankly, the spirit of Dallas.
You've got to make sure that those around you are part of that success. And they're very focused on that time and time again. And I think that's what Dallas is about. They're good representatives of the ethos of our city. A city built on commerce, a city built on doing good for others.
What I love about actually all the winners who have won the Groundbreakers Award, they're silent doers. They just make it happen. And so Craig and Kathryn are the definitive live, work, play. They believe in the neighborhood, they believe in downtown Dallas, and they work other places too, you know, in the community. But what he has invested in terms of time and his commitment to helping people, it is the mantra of Downtown Dallas Inc. as well.
Wow, a lot to ambition for. So thank you again for all that you've done in downtown. Together, Craig and Kathryn Hall exemplify the values of leadership, innovation, and service that define the spirit of downtown Dallas. We celebrate their extraordinary impact and contributions as groundbreakers in every sense of the word. On behalf of Downtown Dallas and all of our member organizations, please join me in congratulating Craig and Kathryn Hall and the Groundbreaker Award.
Wow, that video was just amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lucy, for your comments. Very touching. So I am used to speaking in public with a glass of wine in my hand, but I'm going to make a real effort to keep it down today. So thank you to Board Chair Katy Murray and DDI President Jennifer Scripps. And thank you to our dear, dear friends, Lucy Billingsley, Herb Weitzman, Mike Rollins, Lily Weiss, and Kit Sawyer for their very kind words. Each of them has played a pivotal role in shaping Dallas into the city it is today. And I am totally in awe of them. So their vision and leadership have left a lasting impact on Dallas, downtown, and beyond. We especially want to thank Downtown Dallas, Inc. for this honor. Craig and I feel grateful to be recognized, but we know that the real effort, the real transformation is a collective effort. As some of you know, art is important to us. And Lily commented on it in the video in her remarks. Downtown Dallas Inc.'s investment in public art and culture has transformed downtown into a destination where creativity thrives. One of the most enjoyable projects Craig and I have had the pleasure to work on together was with the leadership of our good friend Patricia Meadows, building a public sculpture walk between KPMG and the Hall Arts Hotel and Residences. To see the large number of people taking their wedding or graduation photos in front of a sculpture by one of our Texas artists warms our hearts and is an important part of what a downtown, vibrant downtown should be.
So as you might guess, we have these scripts, and I will follow it to keep time going and a lot of things said. But wow, Lucy, that was just incredible. I don't know who you were talking about, but my mother couldn't have written something so nice. We're very humbled by the visionaries in the past who have won this award. Ron Kirk, who was a great mayor and a great coalition builder. Robert Deckard was the next year, and he's not only shaped journalism, but he spearheaded transformative parks in downtown. While we love downtown and hope we've made and can make some small difference, this award is not just about us, it's about many people who make downtown Dallas extraordinary. People like Henry and Lucy Billingsley, they were the true pioneers in the Arts District who built commercial and residential properties. People like our friends Jody and Sheila Grant, who together with others, but they really spearheaded, brought Clyde Warren Park, which brought downtown and uptown together. And Jack Matthews, who's doing many things today and has many things more on his plate. So we're fortunate as a city to have a number of great leaders, builders, artists, and entrepreneurs that contribute to our central city. To reminisce slightly, in the late 1980s, Kathy and I did one of the earlier conversions of an office building to apartments in the Kirby building on Main and Akron. And today, one of the great things Downtown Dallas Inc. has done is that they've encouraged many other buildings to be converted. Over 15,000 residents live in downtown neighborhoods. Kathy and I, as you know, are one of them. We live in downtown. Under Jennifer Scripps' leadership, Dallas Inc. has helped Dallas come a long way. But as we're going to hear in a few minutes, the best is yet to come. With the new convention center and exciting projects ahead, Downtown Dallas will play a key role to Downtown Dallas Inc. will play a key role to pushing boundaries and creating meaningful spaces that make Dallas even better for residents and visitors alike. Thank you very much. By the way, this award is really heavy. It's very cool. It's got a hammer. I just hope Kathy doesn't ever get really mad at me. But anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage David Martin, Director, Project Development, Headington Companies.
Please continue to enjoy your lunch. On behalf of Headington Companies and the Jewel, we're honored to be today's panelist luncheon sponsor. Headington Companies is a Dallas-based company with interests in a wide spectrum of industries, including oil and gas, private equity, and film, along with hospitality, restaurant, retail, office, and residential development, the majority of which is proudly anchored within the core of downtown. Headington is committed to partnering with DDI and fellow stakeholders to help downtown thrive. It is my honor to welcome today's panel conversation, Revitalizing Downtown, K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center Update, and it is also my honor to introduce our panelists. Craig Davis, President and CEO, Visit Dallas. Rosa Fleming, Director, Convention and Event Services, City of Dallas. Ron Stelmarski, Design Director, Perkins&Will Dallas, and Project Design Director for the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. And our moderator, Jennifer Scripps, CEO, Downtown Dallas, Inc. Please join me in welcoming them all and enjoy the conversation.
Craig, Rosa, and Ron, let me just start by saying thank you all so much for being so enthusiastic when I called to bounce this idea of a conversation off of you. I really appreciate your willingness to come and talk about what I think, of course, is the most important topic facing downtown. Nothing like having to work for your lunch. So thank you very much. Let me start with that. But really, when we started thinking about today in our annual meeting, it was over 6 months ago, and we felt like the thing that everybody always asks us about is, how's the convention center going? Because last summer we broke ground, and if you were there, it was awesome. I don't know how many shovels they pulled out, but dozens. They broke ground in a lot of utility work, kind of the work to get ready for the main event. And then we've continued to have all sorts of good news related to FIFA coming to Dallas. But then really, the final quarter of 2024, Amplify Dallas Architects were named as the design team. And it just felt like this was, we got to start meeting with you, some of us, at the end of the year. So we're really thrilled to have this conversation today. But Rosa, stepping back, I would call you employee number one on the venture that is the redevelopment of the K. Bailey Hutchison. And I remember, actually, I worked at the city, and you mentioned that we needed to redo the convention center. As a Dallas native, I was like, really? Okay, tell me why. And you and your team went literally all over the country, checking out our peers and benchmarking our convention center and what we offer versus our competition. And you made the case, both at City Hall and in large many ways, you couldn't lobby. So I don't want to say you sold it to the voters, but you armed us with the information to sell it to the voters. But if you had to say in a nutshell, why do we need a new convention center? What do you say?
So when I came to the convention center in 2018 at the request of now city manager Kim Tolbert, it was for a couple of things. They asked me to do 3 things, and one was to create a better relationship with Visit Dallas, which we did immediately. We hired Craig, and his team has been amazing. The second was to look at a management agreement for the center, because not that city staff were doing a poor job, we just didn't have the connectivity, the access, and the capital that comes with hiring a larger company. So we did that. And their first task that we asked them to do was for the third thing, which was to figure out why we were moving back in our rankings as a center in such a big city. And so we looked at the deficiencies of the building. We looked at a study that was done in 2015, came back with a huge price tag. So in today's numbers, it would be about $600 million just to fix the deficiencies of the building and not move it forward. And so went back, sat in a room and read the surveys, and all of them said the same thing. One, that there was nothing to do when you stepped out of the convention center, and so there was an immediate cost to conventioneers and to convention planners coming to Dallas, where they had to create transportation opportunities to go and find things to do in Dallas. And that, along with the deficiencies and the fact that as I walked through the convention center, I noticed that there was no connection to Southern Dallas. It looked like the building was a block to development. It looked like downtown ended there. And then having taken that tour that you talked about, we went immediately and looked at 10 convention centers in 7 days.
Oh.
It was amazing. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was great. It was very
efficient,
informative, right? And so what we saw was that we were losing pace to cities like Nashville because they had the density, they had the ability to walk out and go to restaurants, retail, and so it wasn't just someone coming for a convention. You looked at them as someone that you were trying to attract a company back to maybe bring a corporate headquarters here or to bring an affiliate here and encourage people to come back as visitors. So all of those things were missing. So that was the case.
It's amazing. Okay, so now Craig joined the team, and you immediately, my understanding, is bought in on this, and you're already selling this new vision of all of the ways that we can make improvements. Is it about 60 are already on the books?
Yep,
60 conventions?
we're north of 60 now.
So what are the key selling points now that we are in this work?
Well, the key selling point is that we're going to get a new convention center.
That's right. People like new things.
That's in our business, that's incredibly exciting because there are very few projects like this that actually can get done. Another one is in Austin. Unfortunately, they're going through the same thing at the same time, and they're going to be smaller than us, but they're going to be as new. But usually in our business, the convention centers are there. They oftentimes get added to or renovated. But this is, for all intents and purposes, going to end up by being, although it is an expansion, it's going to be a brand new center. So the center itself is of major interest to customers. People want to do business in Dallas. Right. We're in the middle of the country. Everybody in this room knows. The most airlift in the world out of between our two airports.
Great airports.
We are actually a value destination compared to our competitive set, which is Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. You could name them as well. So we're set up for complete success, quite frankly, with a new building. And then it's all about our customers are incredibly interested in what's going to go on around the building as well. So with the development of the land that the convention center sits on right now, the redevelopment of that, the new offerings with new hotels, new restaurants, new entertainment centers, this is an exciting project, and we have definitely the eyes of the world on us right now.
Okay, it's great. Okay, so we had the case made, we had the vision and the business demand, if you will, and then we got a design team, an amazing Amplify Dallas Architects. Do you want to tell us about the team? Because I felt like when it was announced, it was to such great fanfare, but there are a lot in a project this complex. It takes a team. So, because you're speaking up here for a big group of people, do you want to talk about the team?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say thank you. I mean, we're grateful to be part of the team, and certainly speaking for the entire Amplify Dallas group, working under Rosa's guidance and her instincts. I think you heard she's got some architecture in her because she recognized what was needed for the site. But from the sheer numbers, I mean, it's two powerhouse firms. It's Populous, been around 40 years, a global practice, an expert in convention centers working around the world. And then there's Perkins&Will, which is the Dallas office. We've been around 90 years as a firm, but we're the largest of all the 32 studios around the world. So you're getting, we have a track record of being able to develop really meaningful public realms, taking community needs and really turning them into great architectural experiences and memorable spaces. So in combination, there's this rock solid partnership that we've forged. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've got 39 consultant team members, and that's not, no exaggeration, those are real numbers. And then you combine that with the fact that we've got 51% MWBE representation. And the key there is that we're mirroring the city. We felt it was important. It's such a meaningful project for the city that it really wants to be designed by the people of the city for the people of the city.
Love it.
And more than anything, this team is really built to really thrive on complexity. That's what we need. We have to be nimble. We understand there's a short time frame, but the dynamic nature of this full team is allowing us to perform at a really sort of efficient, fast-paced level.
That's incredible. 39 team members. But
hope that's
it
it.
can be so fun and energizing with all of those perspectives. That's great. Well, okay, so take us through. The team is now in place. What makes this project, unique, or dare I say, particularly challenging? DDI is incredibly bullish on downtown, but frankly, the southwestern quadrant is nowhere I had ever said, let's go, if I have a friend in town, let's go to the convention center district. So can you walk us through, from your design perspective, what the project presents?
Sure. Yeah, you said challenges. I thought, what challenges, right? Of course.
What challenges?
But, when we get to a site, what we're really looking at is, we want to spark a real, active future environment, right? It wants to be vibrant. And most of the time we go and we want to start with what's there. We want to look and see what can we build on. So we took, it took a lot of imagination for this site, because it's all periphery. There's not really a center. And I think that's what you were alluding to, Rosa, is just the idea that what's there is not really a place, and it's really, again, it is a barrier. So for us, the real challenge is thinking through, where do we start? And for us, the focus is always the ground plane, because that's where everyone's occupying. How do we construct that ground plane? And if you look at this site, you won't find anything more complex. It has the UP rail line. It's got a DART line and DART station. There's going to be a replacement vertiport. And of course, we've got streets for cars, sidewalks for pedestrians, and bike trails. And then, of course, the possibility of having the high-speed rail come through. So you can't get more infrastructure happening on one site than this site itself. But if we can neutralize that, and that's the big part of it, once we organize that and make it a place that they coexist and there's synergies, you've got a magnificent hub. You've got a really porous site. You've got something where the exchange of people and just activities are happening. So it's really a great opportunity. But then we get to the second level, and once you get off that ground plane, there's a lot more freedom. And what we're trying to establish is, this inherent logic of the site. That's what's really great about it. There's a really fortuitous sort of north-south orientation. So where you have the highway and all the noise from that, you also have the hot western sun.
Yeah.
So that's a chance for us to build a shield, or think about that as being something that's part billboard in terms of representing the city, but also a place to maybe gather energy from photovoltaics and really create that buffer. And then on the opposite side, where all the action's happening on Lamar, we have a chance to open up towards the skyline.
Right.
We have a chance to open up towards the new arena, and there's this sweeping idea of looking at the present and towards the future into the Cedars. And so everything is happening right there, and that's the real special piece of it all. And I mean, we started to ask ourselves, okay, this is going in such a great direction. Can we actually change the weather in this part of Dallas, right? And that might sound like hyperbole, but the reality of planting enough trees and organizing the building properly, we could truly bring the temperature down 5 to 15 degrees or so.
I love it.
Finally, it's walkable. It's something where people want to be. And when you have an environment people want to inhabit, values go up. So it's a win-win. It's not something where it's either or, it's a both and proposition. And I think that's a real strong point for what we're trying to establish here.
I love the trees, the shade, what the parks have done. They really are respites when you're in the summertime in Dallas, to be able to have that green space.
Well, we want that to go up the building also, but the thing is that the building doesn't have a back either. I think that the really great thing about the site is that every side is meant to be different, and it wants to sort of nestle itself into the site and not feel like a monolith that becomes another barrier, but in fact has front doors on all sides, and again makes it.
And you're not turning your wall to the Cedars, right? Turning your back. Well, Rosa, if you put your Dallas hat on, so we have all these millions of visitors that are going to come enjoy it, but for those of us who live here and have our families here, talk about what this is offering to Dallasites, because I think there's so many good things in the pipeline with the wings and so forth that Ron was just alluding to.
Sure. So we did, as you mentioned, we signed a contract with the wings to come to Dallas, and this would be part of their home, right? They would have a secondary facility here and an arena to play in, and so that'll be some vibrancy in downtown that's lacking right now at some points when there's not a convention going on. So I think when we envisioned this, it was that the convention center district would be a 24-hour place. It's not just for people coming to a convention here, but offerings for people who live, work, and play in downtown.
Right.
And with an emphasis, I think, too, on the work component. A lot of Dallasites who work in the hospitality industry and in the restaurant retail industry come from Southeast Dallas, South Dallas, West Dallas. And so those connections via transportation, the ease of walkability downtown are something that they deserve. And I think growing that workforce is super important to us and to the long-term viability of the city.
Agreed.
And then I think, as we look at, we said a lot during Breimer about not using public money, and I think there was always been some questions about, can this money be used for something else? And obviously it can, it's hospitality and tourism focused. But when you redevelop the site and now you have a mixed use community, that's our opportunity as a city to then use those tax dollars, the property tax dollars, et cetera, because I do not pay tax on the convention center now. And so that is something where we can go back and look at some of those public safety concerns, homelessness, et cetera, and address some of those issues.
Quality of life
quality
improves
of life.
across the board. I mean, there's no question. There's something like 3,000 additional hotel rooms that are forecasted in the area, and those jobs, to your point, cannot be offshored. They will always be in and around the convention center, which is incredible. It's an engine.
And I think as Craig can probably speak a little bit more to, the hospitality industry is one where you can start at the bottom and end up a GM of a hotel, right? So it's an accessible career path, and I think that that's important as we look at the future for Dallas.
I love it. Well, Craig, I mean, kind of building on that, when you think about the convention business, Rosa did a lot of this planning work prior to the pandemic. And then coming out of the pandemic, we heard occasionally, well, don't people just want to meet on Zoom? And it was kind of depressing because I was like, aren't we over that by now? But really, this industry came roaring back faster than we ever expected. What do we know about hosting these events? What does it do for a city, both economically, but kind of those intangible, softer benefits that I think we as locals don't always even fully appreciate?
Yeah, you're right, Jennifer, because people don't really, a city like Dallas that is such a business forward-facing city. When you live in Orlando, for instance, you know what powers Orlando, that is tourism, it's Mickey Mouse. But here in Dallas, this is the way that we actually develop our relationship outside of Dallas, is through visitation and tourism. And when people come to Dallas for conventions, it's actually forced tourism because this is where the convention is, this is where they have to come. But not only is it a $6 billion industry, one of the top 10 employers in Dallas, 27 million visitors every year just to Dallas, it is huge business. Huge. And a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the things that we tend to take for granted that are in our neighborhoods would not be there if it wasn't for tourism. But tourism is, as I just said, a very simple economic driver. But on top of that, if you think about if today's visitors are actually tomorrow's talent and investors. So people like myself, I came down to Dallas first to visit before I decided to move here.
Incredible.
So it's a first date to a lot of economic development. So we love to play part of that whole that whole ecosphere. So for us to have such a friendly reputation, and make no mistake that people love to visit Dallas. We have obviously now Michelin graded restaurants, and we are definitely and always have been on the map, but this gives us an opportunity to grow our reputation even more.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the key, that was one of the key attributes of our brand, right? Was that hospitality with sophistication.
Yeah, it's that.
Or friendliness with sophistication.
Right, it's a maverick can-do, we get stuff done kind of a reputation.
Which I think is true.
Yeah.
And Visit Dallas did great work understanding what Dallas's brand is.
And we're still manifesting that, but this is a place where people come to realize their dreams.
Yeah.
Literally.
We're a city that likes ambition and getting things done. Well, Rosa, when we think about redeveloping the convention center, and Ron kind of walked us through the fact that it's going to go more vertical, it does free up considerable acreage. I don't think it's all been decided just how much. Yeah. But can you walk through what that means for the area? I mean, obviously DDI is keenly interested because I think in 5 years, this area is going to look completely different. Remember it today. You guys were here today. And when you come back, it's going to be, you're not going to recognize it, I think, in some ways. Can you talk about that and what that means and the opportunities involved?
Sure, absolutely. So during the master planning period and the advanced planning that we did to get here, we had HRNA and Hunden Partners do some studies for us on what could take place on that freed up acreage. And it kind of all came together as mixed use, right? There's housing needs downtown. There's obviously a need for restaurants and retail, some education opportunities and art, right? So all of those things coming together in that space, planned in a way that makes people want to visit it, not just as a conference goer, but as someone who lives, works, and plays here. And so I think that that's the vision that we've held. That's one of the goals and visions of the project and what we expect to happen as Amplify Dallas and others help us move the project forward. And something that was requested, by the CAB, the Customer Advisory Board, with Visit Dallas. And so I think we've taken all the stakeholders' opinions and concerns and tried to address them in what that future vision looks like.
And obviously Amplify Dallas now has the team on board thinking through what do we need for the convention center, but then that larger spill out, if you will, effect.
It's all connected. That's the whole thing about any city, right? The great cities are all about connectedness and being able to link from one place to the other. For us, it's the thing we can offer the most of is, sort of a crystal ball, looking around the corners as far as possible to really understand what the dynamics of this will be, because there's a lot of, ideas that aren't fully formed yet.
Right.
But that's sort of that's what invigorates all of us. Thinking about that, Dallas doesn't have to be just a 21st century city. It should be the 21st century city.
Love
it's a chance for it to be a laboratory. It's like we don't have a beach, but we can be a laboratory. We don't have maybe topography, but we have good weather that we can even make better. So it's all these attributes that dial them up. That's really where the Amplify word comes from. Just take the things that are here already and enhance them to a point where now we compete on the biggest world stage possible. And when they come here, visitors, they see something new every time, and the community gets to live somewhere that has, just an energy that's kind of, it's there, it's latent, but it doesn't feel like it's fully incubated here yet, right?
Exactly.
Well, and every time I hear you talk, my brain kind of goes to themes around sustainability and resilience.
Yes.
That having people living in the area, working nearby, that 24/7 activation, we know it's safer, we know it's economically durable and healthy, but that's a theme too that is embedded in a lot of this.
Major theme.
Major theme.
Something that is going to guide a lot of our thinking. So it's,
Okay, so here we are, February of 2025. Let's think through, we have kind of a busy year getting ready for FIFA, and then the next couple of years, I don't know how y'all want to divide this up, because I know the schedule means different things to each one of you.
Yes.
But I think the most frequent question I get is, what's next? What are the next milestones we can be looking forward to, both in the next year and then certainly as we get to 2029, 2030. Rosa, do you want to start and then maybe turn it over to
So
Craig
if
and
you
Walt?
watch City Council tomorrow, there is the host city agreement for FIFA is on the agenda. So assuming that goes well, we'll be pushing forward with that for FIFA. We are awaiting the announcement of the IBC.
Did I jump the gun? I'm so
it's
sorry.
The worst kept secret in the universe. But yes, so we, there's obviously some contractual things that we're
Very
working
important.
through, but as Craig would say, we're the only runner right now. We're the only.
We're the only city left. They have no choice.
So
How dare
they're stuck with us, and so I think that's going to keep us busy for the next year, and then obviously working towards a design that we can bring to council, and then begin to amplify and talk about around Dallas. So it's going to keep us busy for the rest of the year.
It's a design-heavy year.
It's a design-heavy year, a pre-construction year.
It's great.
Putting it in perspective, the International Broadcast Center will start occupation in January of 2026 and slowly work up to, it was mentioned, 2,000 journalists will be there. We have an opportunity as a city to really embrace those people, and it's our opportunity to tell the Dallas story abroad, because they're not just going to be writing about soccer. They'll be writing about the whole business and what they've experienced. And people may not realize this, but all of the games across all of the Americas, will be broadcast in Dallas. So we are going to be the epicenter of the business of World Cup. So from that standpoint, once they occupy that, but before that, in December of this year, that's when they're going to be actually doing the first call out as to which teams will play in which cities. So if we get lucky, we'll get one of the big countries that will have a big loyal following. But Dallas is going to get 9 games. So as these teams get eliminated, these games mean more. So we're going to be present all the way through. No other city has 9 games. We're the only ones that do. So we're going to get much of the largesse that's going to come from FIFA World Cup.
Well, and I also think it's going to make us open our eyes to just how international Dallas already is, because no matter what teams we get, that community in Dallas or in North Texas is going to get so excited to welcome all of the Panamanians to Dallas or whatever country. And I think I'm really excited about that as a native Dallasite, because I think I'm going to be surprised and proud of my own city in a whole new way.
Yeah, we've heard it likened to 9 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So if you can wrap your head around that, we're going to have 9 consecutive, at least close to or maybe exceeding Super Bowls as these teams go further down. But on the top of that, we're going to be the host to at least 6 boot camps, or these teams are going to actually put themselves into Dallas, and then they're going to hub and spoke out of Dallas into the other matches. So we're going to have, those are going to be part of this, and every single facility that you could imagine that could be used to play soccer will be utilized. So Dallas is going to have more than our fair share.
It's super exciting, and thousands of us are going to get to volunteer and be that friendly host.
And we're going to be able to draw on the countries, the residents that live in North Texas that are parts of these countries, their hospitality, their culture, their food. That will become a big part of the continuing sale of Dallas past this. This is going to be our moment.
It's super exciting. So good luck at council tomorrow. They better make the right decision. We are super excited. Is there anything else you all want to, that I forgot to ask or bring out in you guys that y'all want to add for the good of the order?
Sure. I just, a lot of the people that I see in this room, they've been stakeholders on this journey with us, and just a huge thank you for taking the journey with us and being able to envision Dallas in a different way. It's refreshing.
Well, and I think I speak for a lot of us. Good luck, Ron. Good, Ron, and your 39 collaborators. Thank you so much for the engagement that you've already shown throughout the process. And thank you to all of you all for being such tremendous partners, because the complexity of doing this right, and I always say we get one chance to get this right, and our grandkids will thank us for it. So thank you all. And in a year, can't wait to see where we are as we're getting ready to welcome the world to FIFA. So thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our panelists for joining me today for our conversation. I hope you're as excited as I am for the next steps, and can't wait to see the designs and our future preparations for FIFA. We do have a winner from today's raffle, which is benefiting the DDI Foundation and is a week at the beautiful Robeson residence. And the lucky winner is Laura McGraw. So I'm so happy for you, and I just want to wrap things up with thanking our presenting sponsors, Amplify Dallas Architects, our panelist luncheon sponsor, Headington Companies, The Jewel, our pinnacle sponsors, Billingsley Company, Hall Group, and Encore, our media sponsor, Dallas News Corporation. And thank you to DHD Films, our audiovisual sponsor, for producing that tremendous Groundbreaker Award video. I loved it, and we will be sharing it online later today. And thank you as well to all of our other sponsors and all of you as guests who joined us today. I also want to give a special moment of thanks to the entire DDI team, but especially Gary Johnson, Evie Marcus, and Monica Gonzalez, and the entire DDI team that makes today possible. I do not exaggerate when I always say DDI has the dream team, and this event is months in the making and could not happen without them. So a big shout out as well to the Omni Dallas hotel staff for their exceptional service and the delicious lunch. And last but not least, thank you to each of you for joining us today and caring so much about downtown. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please have a safe trip home, and I look forward to seeing you out and about in downtown Dallas. Thanks again.